Left to my natural inclinations, my main strategy for dealing with anxiety is ignoring it, pushing it down as deep as I can, packing it in, using a vacuum to suck all the air out of it, like getting rid of it as fast as possible by pretending like it doesn't exist. It's the mental equivalent of shoving as much as you can into the hallway closet. I have been dealing with a lot of anxiety recently, and I thought that that would be a great time to share with you all of my dealing with anxiety strategies. If therapy has taught me anything, it's that ignoring and internalizing are terrible solutions. Because you know what happens when you shove everything as tightly as possible into the hallway closet? You go in to get a coat out, and suddenly you have a filing cabinet falling down on top of your head. Not that I've been there. Over the course of this year of therapy, and through my own reading, my own exploration, my own paying attention to my body, I have finally come up with some slightly more helpful strategies. So I'm going to share with you the ones that work for me. I would love to hear if you have different ones that work for you, because I am always in the market to try something new, and I'm sure others watching could benefit from your experiences as well. So leave those in the comments. From me today, you're going to get 5 strategies. And number 1, the most basic, is taking a walk. Taking a walk just seems to release all sorts of emotions. It is an exercise in mindfulness. It is an exercise in the sense of moving your body, which is really important for getting all of those anxiety, stress chemicals circulating and moving on. And it is time away from whatever is going on that is causing you stress and anxiety. And the magic of a walk is that it works at times other than in the moment. When I am walking every day, and I will admit that I am not great at that, but when I'm walking every day in the morning, when I make a point of undertaking that ritual, it has knock-on effects throughout the day. And it makes the rest of the day, any stress, any anxiety that comes up during the day, easier to handle because I took that walk earlier. And unlike all of these other strategies, the walk is the only one that does that. All of my other strategies are things to do in the moment. Going for a walk works both in the moment and as preventative self-care. My second strategy is what I call writing it out. Writing it out is, for me, where I've kind of landed on journaling after daily journaling, morning pages, that kind of thing just really didn't work for me. And writing it out means that when I am feeling those emotions welling up inside of me, when I am feeling like I can no longer handle holding on to them, if I sit down with a pen in my hand and I write 2 or 3 pages, maybe even more, and I'm talking like little pages in my traveler's notebook, and I just pour everything out and I let the tears flow, and I don't even know where it's going necessarily when I start, but doing that, doing it alone where no one is watching me doing it, and doing it in a context where I am not going to save that writing in the future. I am not thinking about passing that writing down as a legacy. That seems to help some of the emotions flow from my head and my body out through my hands to the paper. My handwriting is terrible when I write these things, but it is a method of release that works for me. And that has not always been the case, because I used to think of my writing as a legacy, as what I was going to leave to people after me. And then I got my mother's journals, and I realized that that sort of writing is a terrible legacy to leave. And so now I either just toss the pages when I'm done, or I fill up a notebook and I burn it, or I put it directly into the recycling for pickup. I do not keep that. I do not even read it over later. It is simply a release through writing it out. My third strategy, which I know looks ridiculous, but actually work, is shaking it out. And that literally means shaking it out. Taking my hands, my arms, my legs, my whole body, and shaking. And doing it for as long as I need to do until that feeling starts to pass. And I'm having those feelings right now, and I'm shaking. And it takes a while sometimes, and you look ridiculous, but it helps. Just trust me, it helps. Go into an empty room where no one can see you. Stand in the bathroom in front of the mirror. Shake it out. In the moment, it makes a difference. Gets that circulation going. It gets your muscles loose where you're holding on to that tension. And it allows you to have a little play, to realize how silly you're looking and be okay with that, which is powerful in and of itself. And finally, these last two strategies are some of the first ones I adopted. I actually think longer term, they're some of the least effective strategies that I use for releasing anxiety, but they are really handy to have in your pocket for crisis moments. And that means to pull out when you are sitting in the doctor's office, or when you are about to take an exam, or go into an interview, or any number of things where you are in a position where you can't just go out for a walk. People are going to look at you funny if you get up and start shaking. You don't have a journal with you. These are in the moment crisis solutions that can get you through anxiety until you can come back and use a strategy that is more effective at flushing it from your body. One of those for me is breathing. And the breathing method that I do is to breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, and then breathe out for a count of 8. So I'm going to do it with you right now the way that I do it. So breathe in for 4, hold, release. In for 4, hold, release. And the secret behind this breathing technique is to repeat it a few times and get really focused on completely filling your lungs on that inhale and completely emptying your lungs on that exhale. I think it works for me in part because I do hold a lot of my tension in my chest, so it does have a muscular relaxing effect, but it also refocuses you, because when you are doing that counting in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you do that count, your mind is focused on that counting. Your body is focused on that breathing. You don't have a lot of room to spiral. In a similar vein, noticing is my final strategy. And this was taught to me by a friend, but I have seen it in several other places since. You will also see this called something like the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique, or the 5 senses technique. And what it does is to really focus you on all of your senses so that you're paying attention to the physical world around you, to the moment, rather than whatever's going on up here. So the first part of that noticing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique is 5 things that you can see. And just look around you. Right now I see a plant, I see my ring light, I see the camera in front of me, I see a poster of Rocky Mountain National Park, I see my cup of coffee, which is one of my favorite cups, and I see my notebook and pen with my notes sitting in front of me. Acknowledge those 5 things and really take them in, notice the details of them, and describe them to yourself. And then add 4 things that you can touch around you. For instance, 1, my coffee cup, which is smooth and rough and a little warm from the coffee inside it. I have the linen of my shirt. I have my hair, the texture of my hair, and I have the table in front of me. 4 things that I can touch. Then acknowledge 3 things that you can hear. Right now I can hear the noises of the construction workers working on the house next to me, and believe me, I can hear that because I am cognizant of every little sound around me when I'm recording. I can also hear the hum of the refrigerator behind me. And I can hear the sound of the cat crunching on food in his bowl. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Then 2 things you could smell. One thing I can smell is my diffuser, which smells like clove and citrus, and it is just lovely. And the second thing that I can smell is the aroma of my coffee. It reminds me of all the time I spend when I get my coffee order each week, smelling the grounds of the coffee, trying to isolate those different flavors, different influences in each type of bean, and then tasting the coffee. And that brings me to the final thing, which is 1 thing that you can taste. Tasting might be the taste of toothpaste on the inside of your mouth. It could be a little bit of saltiness when you lick your lips. And in my case, it's the bitterness of my coffee and the sort of chocolatey undertones that come along with it. You can see how long it took for me to focus and move through those 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 things. The fact that it takes a while, the fact that you have to focus on it, the fact that you have to think about your physical senses and what they're experiencing is what helps it to work to relieve that in the moment anxiety. This isn't going to do much for you long term, except maybe help train your mind to focus on the moment. But in the moment, it really helps. And if you go all the way through one time and you haven't felt your breathing steady and your muscles relax a little, go right back to the top and start over again. I hope that these 5 things have been helpful for you. If they have been, hit the like button for me because you have made it all the way through to the end. If you're not subscribed already, I would love if you would subscribe. I post every Tuesday, usually a video about mental health, creativity, or searching for happiness. And then every Friday, I post a vlog of a day in my life, what's going on, and how I personally am moving towards those goals in my own life and in my day-to-day activities. I would love to have you along for all of it. And until next time, I am wishing you love and joy and all those good things, and I cannot wait to talk to you again.